Straight talking like a sensible football supporter in Qatar, it's the Euro Paper Roundup, featuring today doping, pimped out jerseys and the World Clubs Cup. Let's start with that one, FIFA's premier club competition, currently underway in Abu Dhabi, just a stone's throw away, not far away, from controversial future World Cup site Qatar. European champions Inter have arrived in the Emirates as short-handed as a local shoplifter after what they describe as a world record number of injuries. But crucially, they had Diego Milito back in the side this week as they romped to a 3-0 win in their semi-final against the Korean side Seongnam, putting Inter into the final and earning Rafa Benitez not only a stay of execution, but a chance thus for another last meal. Finally, it's Inter, says the Gazzetta. He's got control of them again, says happy owner Massimo Moratti. Disappointingly, Moratti not quite so thrilled by the rest of his first taste of Middle Eastern football. What a strange atmosphere here, he says. Everyone was silent at the ground, nobody cheering on either side, and no enthusiasm. Also, no one here is good with colours, and the musical theatre scene is a real letdown. He didn't add. Well, not the first man to discover that there's not much atmosphere at the Emirates. Gunners. His Inter side will now be facing the Congolese team Mazembe in the final on Saturday. Mazembe becoming the first African side to reach this point by knocking out the South American champions Internacional in what was a major upset, especially as Mazembe were playing without their captain after Killjoy authorities banned him for chasing down and karate kicking a referee. Inter thus very much the favourites in this game. The Gazzetta warns though with a picture of a colourful looking supporter, Inter, don't get bewitched. Typical Italians, always stereotyping. Now back in Italy, meantime, plenty of big stories going on. Here's one. Bologna, Serie A side, on the verge of bankruptcy, and they now risk losing their entire squad after the players began dissolving their contracts over unpaid wages. It includes this man, Marco Davao, joint top scorer last season in Serie A. Woof. More shock news on the cover of Tuesday's Gazzetta. No, not the story comparing Ibrahimovic to Marco van Basten, with a disconcerting Photoshop here of Zlatan pulling on a mask made of the Dutchman's face. Bit like in Saw. Can half imagine them doing one of Maradona's face, revealing a small family of sumo wrestlers and their immediate circle of relatives. Anyway, the shock story is actually over here. Doping. Fuentes, accusations against World Cup winners Spain. If I talk, the whole house of cards will come down. Yikes. Well, Emiliano Fuentes, here he is the notorious Spanish doctor whose 2006 arrest for doping led to the suspension of 13 cyclists from the Tour de France and suggestions that other sports might also have athletes involved. Fuentes supposedly had a list of over 100 other names which never saw the light of day, and he himself was never charged as doping wasn't a crime back then in Spain. It is now though, and in the midst of a major new police operation, he's once more been arrested and thrown in jail, where he told his 3 new cellmates, if I opened my mouth, Spain wouldn't be either the world or European champions. Billy Hayes should have tried that line in Midnight Express. Now since then, Fuentes has remained tight-lipped, perhaps understandably, but the Italian press reckon this could be one to watch. For now though, the only bad blood and needle that the Spanish press are showing any interest in is the usual Real Madrid-Barcelona agenda, with a side helping this week of Catalan derby. Now, first up on that front, the Barcelona shirt sponsorship story. As suggested here last week, Barcelona caving in on their long-standing refusal to besmirch their colours with a paying sponsor, one of the last great principal traditions of the game, this like Arsenal not having a keeper. It came to an end though last Friday, Barcelona striking a massive deal with top football nation Qatar, worth, the papers reveal, €165 million over 5.5 years. Sport call it the most expensive shirt in the world. Yep, they really made Qatar cough up. Catalan press clearly untroubled by this sellout of Lib Dem proportions, but many supporters were deeply angry. There were protest banners at the Camp Nou at Barca's game last weekend, while club legend Johan Cruyff declared, "We're no longer more than a club, we're now just another side." Ooh. Well, it's a big weekend this for Barcelona, facing as they are the derby with 4th placed Espanyol, who are tough opponents traditionally. A game this that Sport this week were talking up as counting for half the league title. A theory that, though rather undermined by their front page the very next day, which has Messi on his own has scored as many goals as the whole of the Espanyol team put together. Should be close then, unless Messi's teammates turn up. Well, with that in prospect, that is it for this week's Paper Roundup. Next week our review will be axed for Christmas, like a Norwegian pine or Bob Cratchit, but we will be back, the good news is, in the new year with the same old cosy familiar lineup of tat. In the meantime, have a very happy festivity for yourself and we'll see you soon.